Thank you for coming to Nona's Nutty Crafts. You're not going to see me maybe as much, but the idea is to see what we're going to be creating today. So today we're going to take this pumpkin, which I got from the Dollar Tree store. It's a three-dimensional, one-sided pumpkin, and we're going to create a really cool pumpkin using the Deco mesh tubing. That's it, except for a little ribbon, which will make a bow, which we'll show you later at the end. So we're going to move this off to the side. And what we're going to do, we'll move this off to the side too, for right now. And we're going to start with our Deco tubing. You will need a pair of wire cutters, a pair of scissors. You'll need three of these, because we're going to cut all of the pipe cleaners in half. So we would need technically 6 of these. These babies, we were going to need about 80. Now to do this project, you're going to need, in the orange color, you're going to need about 15 bags of the orange. And you'll just need 1 bag of this. Or if you have a different green or you want to use brown, you're not even going to use the whole bag, because we're just using a small portion of the green. So now that we've cut our pipe cleaners in half, you can see my little half one. What we're going to start with is our Deco tubing. Now I found it a lot of bit easier to use 1 bag at a time, and I find the 2 ends of the bag, and I will do cutting these at 24 inches long. Now this one just so happens that I'm at the end of the tubing. I can go ahead and fold this in half, and I'm still at my 24 inches. So once I've cut, I'm going to do 4 strands together. So I've cut these already, and I'm going to try to get the ends as close to possible as even. Come down about 2.5, maybe 3 inches. Bring it across. If you see a little kink in there, you can just push it together and just squish it back so that the kink goes away. We're going to take the other end and the same thing, make the edges go as even as possible. So we have it like this. We're going to take this and fold this over, pinch the 2 of these together. We're going to take this part here just like this. We're not going to pull it really tight, just a little bit. And we'll find the middle and that. So we're kind of making a bow. Take our pipe cleaner, put it around. Now what I did is I folded this in half to hold down the the tubing, because it makes it easier to do the twisting. So again, this is 24 inches each, and there are 4 strands together to make this little bow or bundle. Okay? So I made about 80 of them. And then I took my pumpkin, opened up the pipe cleaners so I can straddle it like this, and then all I did was twist it so that it would stay. That's it. Now the ones on the bottom going across, I didn't want them to slide up and down. So again, let me move this out of the way. I would straddle it, fold this down and around, each side around once around the base. Oops. And then bring the 2 ends together and twist tie it. And that way, just on these here, again, so that it doesn't slide up and down. So that's all you have to do. The most time consuming is making these guys. So what we're going to do now, I have one that's pretty far along here. And we need to put this one more in here. Okay. So let me put this last one in. And we'll do it down here so you can hopefully see. Again, I just straddle it, twist tie it all the way up. Now, you're using a half a pipe cleaner. So what you would do then is take this, the pipe wire cutters, and cut it off. And then leave about a ½ inch, and then you wrap it around here. Now you can see all this is folding in. Once you are totally completed, you can push all the little bows and strands and stuff out. Now for the top here, There are 6 sections here. Here is where the stem is on it. So I took the same thing, 24 inches of the green, and ran it across 3 on this side and 3 on this side. And that gives it like the leaf, if you want to call it that, effect. Okay. Now, in here, I ran about 10 on each of these rails, 10 tubings on each of the rails. Okay. That's what I felt gave it a nice fullness. You may want to do less, you may want to do more. That is up to you. But this is what I did. Now we got to finish this off up here because it looks just kind of plain. So we're going to put a bow here. Okay. Put this back up here for a minute. So I chose today, I got a little pumpkin bow here and I got some green. That's all that we're going to use. Just 2 colors to make this bow. Now I'm going to use my bow dabber. I know there's a pin in there. There you are. Don't want to lose my pins. And what I'm going to do is just put this in like this. And I'm going to make a tail. A tail is the part that comes on. It's called a terry bow. We're going to make this tail about 12 inches long. Now you can see this is a right side and it has a wrong side to it. So we want to make sure when we're doing this that our right side is facing up. And now what's nice about this, there's pumpkins facing up and pumpkins facing down and stuff. So we don't have to worry about trying to make this facing all the same way. So I'll measure out. I'm using my cutting mat to help measure. And then we're going to flip this up so that we have the wrong side facing up. And I'm going to make this bow about 6 inches. And that means 6 inches on each side is the loop. Okay, push it down. You can twist it. If you want to twist it before you put it in the bow dabber, you can. It is your choice. There's no right or wrong. Come here. There we go. And we do 6 inches on this side. You can use your fingers to pull it. And again, 6 inches on this side. And what I'm going to do is just do 2 loops on each side. Now this ribbon is wired. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm not worried about really fluffing the bow because I'll do that afterwards. I just want to make sure I get all my edges down so that my tails will sit right. And we cut the bow. So in reality, this is what you have so far. 2 loops on each side and 2 tails. So we're going to take this, put this away. And we're going to pick out the green. Now you can choose whatever colors you want, any ribbon you want. It is up to you. This ribbon doesn't have a right or wrong side to it, which is kind of nice because it makes it easy. And we're going to make it a little bit shorter. I usually go maybe about 1 inch or so shorter than the tail. And this one I'm going to do 3 loops going across. Oops. And I'm going to make this one shorter than the other one. So I had it at 6 inches. I was using my 5 to my 9. And this one I'm going to go about 4 inches. Because I really want that bow underneath the pattern to really show from the other one. Put some ribbon here. And we're going to do 3 loops on each side of this one. You can use your fingers to make sure it is, or again, using your mat. It is your choice. And again, 3 loops, and these are at 4 inches a loop. And then I'll just spread these out a little bit here, so you kind of get the idea. And I'll cut this off. Now what I decided to do was any of the little mesh tubing that I had left over from my project, and you know we always do, we have these little pieces that we say, what are we going to do with them? So we're going to take them, and it doesn't matter what length it is. You can make it longer, you can make it smaller, it doesn't matter. And we're just going to make 2 little things like that. We're also going to take a piece and we're going to make a bow. And the bow is not going to be very big to put in here. So I'm just going to kind of just go along like with something like that. And cut off the edges. So to see that, all I did was take this and you kind of overlap it and find the middle of where the overlap is. And then it's the same way we made the other ones to go on, and you have that. I'm going to take these pieces, and these pieces are going to go in there, and it's just going to be a little funky thing, okay? So right now we're going to put them off to the side because we're going to finish a little bit with our bow here. Now I'm going to choose to use an orange pipe cleaner with this one. And I'm going to use just a little bit of wire. Now, if you don't have wire, you can use a zip tie. You can use the whole thing as a pipe cleaner. It doesn't matter. But I'll show you why I just want a little piece of wire. I'm going to start taking my bow out, and I'm going to put my wire in on top. And I'm going to twist it from behind. Now I'll twist this pretty tight on this one. But before I twist it all the way, I want to make sure my tails are all where they should be. Down here. Spread your bow out. Make sure nothing's twisted the wrong way from behind, because once you make it tight, you're not going to be able to change it. That's all I'm going to do. Now I'm going to make it tighter. And I'm going to let the wire do the twisting. Twisted it the wrong way. There we go. We just get a few twists in there. I'm going to take wire, cut it kind of close, and the little piece that's sticking up, I'm just going to bend that back down. There we go. So now this is where I'm going to use my pipe cleaner on this part. Again, I'm going to fold this in half, or find out where my pieces would be. So I have a pretty little bow, and I'm just going to take these 2. Again, it doesn't matter what size, and they're going to fit in behind it or on top of it. I'm going to lay it across my bow, take my pipe cleaner, oops, and run it right down on top of it. And then I'll twist tie this. Once we get it on, we'll cut these. We can pull them, you know, to be whichever length we want them to be. And it just is going to add a little fun factor to the bow. All right. So that's what our bow is going to basically look like. And once we fluff it out, I got my hand sticking down in here. And I'm going to cut these on an angle. I'm not going to dovetail them. I feel like cutting them on an angle today. Again, these ones a little shorter so you can see the pattern underneath. So now we got to put it on our pumpkin. Now I'm putting it on the pumpkin. We're not going to put it right at the very top. And the reason being that if I put it right at the top here, you're not going to see the bow. Because when you stand it up like this, the bow is going to look like it's facing up this way. So I'm going to put it going down here, down here. So I'm just going to split out where some of the green and the orange is here. And I got my pipe cleaners here. And wrap that just a little. There we go. And this is where the stem is, right here. So I'm going to take the 2 rails on either side of the stem, and that's where I'm going to put my my bow. And then all I'm going to do is tie it together. Now you can tie it loosely first to see if it's sitting right, if you need to move it up or you need to move it down. Now to me, I think maybe moving it down one might be better. So we're going to put 1 row of the orange up right underneath and come in between that one. And the reason being, I really want you to see the bow. We made such a pretty bow. Now you don't want to put it too tight, pull it too tight, because you don't want it to sink in to your project. So that's why I say do it loosely, then you can go back and you can adjust it. And I'm just going to arc, just make these curl a little bit like this by bending the ribbon, the wire this way. I'm going to show you in a minute what it looks like. And that's what it looks like. Now that I'm all completed, I can go ahead and take all of these and push them through, just like that, so everything is facing on the forward side. You can spread these out. I have 10 per rail, like I said, so there's about 80 of these, and you can spread them out to make them more even, so that you're not seeing any gaps and holes and everything in there. You can always hold it up to a window and you can see better. So that is it. That is how you make a tubing pumpkin. If you choose, you want to add some flowers or something, you can. I'm choosing on this, since this is pretty poofy by itself, that I'm just going to leave it with the bow. So that's it, y'all. So I'm going to say thank you for coming to Nona's Nutty Crafts, and enjoy making a Deco tubing pumpkin.